Russia, Iran, Turkey, right? There are countries out there that do not want anyone to cross their borders, and we are trained on how to cross those borders as well. And the fact that we can be operationally trained to do so shows you that the best intelligence officers in the world can do the same thing in the United States. Who are those best intelligence, best trained intel services outside of the United States? The Chinese, the Russians, the Iranians. You've got that's like formal nation state actors, but then you also have formalized actors that have deep pockets that are not nation states, transnational threats like weapons proliferators, human trafficking proliferators, weapons smugglers, terrorists, extremists, right? Whether it's from ISIS recruiting lone wolves, or whether it's from Al-Qaeda, who are actually training and creating operatives of their own in the deserts of Pakistan.
Yeah, that's what, just from my experience of studying this and interviewing people, people currently, transnational organizations are coming from all over the world. I mean, places that we've never heard of in the past are now starting to cross our borders illegally. And in that same conversation, because I wouldn't just say currently, I'd say just our borders in general, it's pretty porous as well. As a border patrol agent myself, I would say we did the best we could for how many people we had boots on ground, and for the terrain if it dictated, and for the weather if it dictated. And so we did everything we could to do the best we could. Currently, it's a little different, right? We do have a massive influx of immigration. Some of them are posing as asylum cases. Some are asylum cases, and we have to kind of decide for that. But because we're a country that allows this opportunity, even if they've entered illegally, does that put us at a greater risk? I imagine, just my own thought is like, this has to mean that other countries see this as like, now's the time, great opportunity, let's go.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So because we are a country that emphasizes democratic freedoms,
Yes.
and we're a country that even has a formalized system of asylum, right? Like other countries, if you look at a country like Sweden, Sweden just says no. Like, we don't care what political hardship you have, you're not coming here. But then they raise their hand as being like a neutral country, right? So we are one of the few countries in the world that say, hey, we will hear out your case, and oh, by the way, we'll pay for it. So you come to us, try to cross our border, and if we don't let you in, if we have to adjudicate your case, we'll still put you in a halfway house. We'll still hold you on the border. We'll still put our resources into enabling you to cross. What that creates, Vince, is an opportunity for well-funded and poorly funded transnational and foreign threats to send operatives in our direction. And here's why. If they are well-funded and well-trained, they can actually create a multi-year process to penetrate our border. For example, they can send an operative to a US school under a visa that allows them to study in that school, to then get a degree from that school, which then allows them to apply for jobs in the United States with their US degree and get yet a different type of visa that allows them to stay in the United States long term, and even work a path to residency or citizenship. And that's one of the biggest risks that we have in the intelligence world, is well-trained Russian, Chinese, and other foreign actors who get a chance to come into our school system and abuse the freedoms of our school system so that they can build lives as what are known as illegals, right? Essentially, they are here under false pretenses, but they've abused a system that rewards foreign skill sets, right? Meaning just foreign academic skill set to come in. So well-funded organizations can operate through that path. But even your poor funded organizations, think about your fractionalized Islamic extremists. They can literally just try to cross a border from the north through Canada or the south through Mexico, and they can send people who are even just moderately radicalized. Because here's the truth of it. Radicals are often not as ideological as we think they are, right? Terrorists aren't gung-ho for dying for Allah. That's not where they start. Where they start is just, should I be an extremist, violent offender, or is it just an opportunity for me to get paid so that I can eat, so that I can find something better? right? It's very pragmatic. We think that extremists are like radicalized beyond saving. In reality, many of them are just distraught and stressed and poor. And extremism is the best way to get a paycheck because they can't get anything else. So
Yeah.
when ISIS or when Al-Qaeda sends 50 people to cross the southern border, 10 of them get across, and 8 of them end up on the other side wondering, oh, like, should I stay an extremist or should I just go get a job at McDonald's? So there's actually an element baked in to our border policy where we expect extremists will cross the border. And we expect that a certain percentage of them will simply like discover the truth of the American dream and they will abandon their extremist ways.
Yeah.
It is insane to think of it, but there are actual like actuarial calculations that allow for a certain level of illegal activity inside the United States because we know they will be de-radicalized or they will choose the American lifestyle over their original extremist goals.
Oh, that's crazy. I just think about like I joined the military because I needed money for my daughter. And then I fell in love because I found a new place for me that I can, I was like, oh, I actually blend in. I fit and I'm actually pretty good. It's a similar kind of response. Someone comes to America and be like, hey, that sounded good at the time. It was just a means to get me here. Now that I'm here, let me just start a family and live the American dream.
Exactly. But it works in both ways, Vince. It works in both ways.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing that nobody wants to admit. Sometimes you're perfectly rational asylum refugee speak like those folks will come from poor, dysfunctional, broken countries. And they will come here with every intent to become a bona fide American citizen, right? But then when they get here, they get chewed up by our own system because we don't take very good care of our refugees. We don't take very good care of our asylum seekers. We don't set them up for success. And then after they're already here, isolated from their families, isolated from their culture, isolated from their religion, and abandoned, they can still radicalize.
Yeah.
And that's one of the most dangerous elements to, again, our border security challenges is that when we let someone in, sometimes we cut them off from their own culture and resource network, and then they radicalize from within. And that's how ISIS targets us from within the United States.
Yeah, it's very similar to the Mara Salvatrucha, the MS-13. A lot of them were illegal immigrants that come down to LA. A lot of them didn't fit in because they weren't Mexicans. So then they created their own little gang that eventually became more powerful because they had to be more violent to gain respect. It's a similar concept to that. I want to go back to what you said that some of the well-funded transnational organizations, and they come here on false pretenses, a visa, they get an education here. And you said that almost as if this could happen, but you and I know this has happened, correct?
It is happening.
Right. Yeah, this is happening currently to this day. Like this
to this day, man.
Often.
To this day. So I think it was a metric from 2016. So I haven't checked it recently. The vast majority of law school graduates in a handful of liberal states were actually foreign nationals. Chinese people, Russian people, Turkish people, Saudi Arabians coming to the United States to get law degrees. Well, guess what fucking law they're studying, Vince?
What?